Hello students, welcome to my channel The Science World, and if you find this video useful for you, then please like, comment and share with your friends. Also subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification of my upcoming videos. Students, in our last video we have discussed about the autotrophic type of nutrition. In this video we are going to read about nutrition in plants, and the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, so let's start. Some plants that do not have chlorophyll cannot synthesize their own food, okay, and so they have to depend on other plants for food. So these organisms or animals that are depend on the plants or other animals for their food, and this mode of nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition, and the organisms having this type of nutrition are known as heterotrophs. Okay, heterotrophs are of many types, that is they are parasites, saprophytes and symbionts. So we will see one by one. First mode of nutrition is the parasitism or the parasitic plants. Parasites are those organisms, that is plants and animals both. Parasites are the organisms which obtain food from the other organism called the host, and it is a one kind of association in which only parasites are benefited. Only parasites are benefited and the host is not benefited. Okay, so this type of association is known as parasitism. Parasitic plants take their food from other plants. These plants take their food from other plants. Okay, for example, Cuscuta is there. Cuscuta, it is also known as amarbel, and one another kind of plant is there just like Cuscuta, and it is known as dodder. Okay, so these plants, this is a parasitic plant and it has special tubular structures called hostoria, and that what these hostoria do, they penetrate into the tissues of the tree. They penetrate in the tissues of the tree from which it gets food. Okay, I will show you the picture. Here you can see this is the plant, that is Cuscuta. This yellow color net like structure you can see here, this is Cuscuta, and these are the hostoria. These are hostoria. You can see here bulging part is there. Okay, this is that plant, that is Cuscuta, and here you can see this small structures are there. Okay, and these structures penetrate in the this stem of this host plant. This is host plant. Okay, and this is yellow part, you can see it is the Cuscuta. So these hostoria, they penetrate into the stem of this plant, host plant, and they get all the nutrition from this host plant. Okay, so host plant never gets benefited in the parasitism. Another examples of this type of nutrition is mistletoe, then Rafflesia, yellow rattle, witchweed and broomrape. These are some of the parasitic plants. Let's see them. This is dodder, or we can say this Cuscuta plant. Then parasitic plant called Rafflesia, it is found in Sumatra. It bears the largest flower. This plant has the largest flower and the diameter is 106 centimeter and it can weigh up to 10 kg. उसका जो weight है वो 10 kg तक हो सकता है. Okay, this is Rafflesia. It is a parasitic plant. Then here you can see the yellow rattle plant. This is yellow rattle plant. Then this is the witchweed. This is witchweed. This is also parasitic plant. And this parasitic plant, that is witchweed, it is also known as striga. Okay, striga. And how it takes nutrition? See, this triga seeds, when they germinate, and they penetrate here in the roots. Okay, these roots are there. This is the host plant, and they penetrate in the roots of this host plant and they get the nutrition. Okay, so this is they absorb nutrients and water from this host plant. So this is parasitism. This is also a plant, that is a parasitic plant is there, and its name is broomrape. The second type of heterotrophic nutrition is saprophytic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which organism takes nutrients from the dead and decaying matter is called saprophytic nutrition. Now dead and decaying matter means the dried leaves are there, or the branches which branches of the plants or leaves that fall on the ground and then they decay, and on this dead and decaying matter these saprophytes grow. The plants that are using this saprophytic mode of nutrition, they are known as saprophytes. Okay, the examples of saprophytes are fungi, or we can say mushrooms, okay, Indian orchid, snow orchid, etc. And all saprophytes lack chlorophyll. Saprophytes lack chlorophyll, and that's why they are not able to uh, perform the photosynthesis, and that's why they are depend on the dead and decaying organic matter for their food. Here in this way of nutrition, these saprophytic plants, what they do, they do not have chlorophyll, so they cannot make the food with the photosynthesis, but they pour some digestive juices on this dead and decaying matter, and they directly absorb the nutrients from it. Okay, you can see the pictures here. This is the mushroom, fungi, then this is Indian orchid, this is another type of orchid, that is a type of Indian orchid is there. This is the snow orchid. So these are the different types of saprophytic plants that grow on dead and organic matter. Then we have third type of heterotrophic nutrition, that is symbiosis, and the plants are known as symbiotic plants. Symbiosis is a relationship. It is a relationship between two organisms in which both the organisms are benefited. Here both the organisms are benefited from each other, and the organisms present in this association, they are known as symbionts. Organisms are known as symbionts. See, in parasitism we have seen that one organism is getting benefit and other is not getting benefit, that means it is losing. Okay, in saprophytic plants, they are not depend on the host. Okay, they are only getting their food from the dead and decaying matter. In symbiotic plants, both the organisms or both the plants, they are depend on each other, and they both are getting benefits from each other. Okay, and this type of association, it is known as symbiosis, and the organisms are known as symbiont. Okay, lichen is the example of this symbiosis in which two symbionts or components are, one is alga and another one is fungus. Okay, so lichens are the lichens are the association between an alga and a fungus. Here alga also gets benefited and fungus also gets benefited. The fungus provides shelter, water and minerals to the alga. Fungus provides shelter, water and minerals to the alga, and in return alga that contains chlorophyll, we know that algae contains chlorophyll, it synthesizes food by the photosynthesis and provide to the fungus. So in this way this fungus and alga, they are getting benefited from each other. Okay, so this type of nutrition is known as symbiosis, or the relationship is known as symbiosis, and the plants are known as symbiotic plants. Here you can see the picture of lichen, another picture of lichen here. This one is also lichen on the trees. These lichens are a group of plants having a composite thallus consisting of an alga and fungus. We know that it is consist of alga and fungus, and lichens act as an indicator of air pollution, and they disappear from the area having excess of CO and SO2. CO and SO2 means carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide. If it is more in the or in excess quantity in the air, in that air these lichens will not grow, they start disappearing from such places. So these are the indicators of air pollution, lichens. Similar relationship is also found in some other plants like the leguminous plant. Leguminous plants such as pea and gram. matar and we can say chana. Okay, so these are the leguminous plants because on the roots of these plants, okay, on the roots of these plants you can see these knots like structure, okay, knot or outgrowths are there, and that's why they are okay. So these roots or this root nodule, these knots are known as root nodules, and here the bacterium rhizobium resides in these nodules. So rhizobium bacterium that is found in the roots nodules of these plants. Root nodules I have shown you just now. These are the root nodules, and this rhizobium bacterium, it lives inside the root nodules. Okay, what is the purpose of this? See, rhizobium converts atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates and nitrites, okay, that can be used by the plants. And what this rhizobium gets in turn? In return, these plants provide food to the bacteria. Okay, plants use this nitrogen to form proteins. With the help of this nitrogen, plants make proteins, and in return, plants provide food to the bacteria. This symbiotic association is very important for farmers because these leguminous plants replenish the soil with nutrients so that the fertilizers are not required to be put, and that's why these farmers, they used to grow these leguminous plants in their farms or fields. Okay, so this is another relationship between the leguminous plant and the rhizobium bacterium. You can see the picture here. Then we have the last and fourth mode of heterotrophic nutrition, that is insectivorous plants. Okay, so we know that some plants that are having or that are growing in such a conditions or such a soil that they will not get the nitrogenous compounds. Okay, and for this, these animals or these plants, they trap insects. Okay, these plants, they trap insects with the help of special leaves present in them to get the supply of nitrogenous compounds. For this nitrogenous compound, these plants are called insectivorous plants, and the examples are pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, bladderwort, sundew. These are the examples of insectivorous plants, and these insectivorous plants have some modifications in their leaves. Okay, first we will see about the pitcher plant. A part of leaf is modified to form a pitcher like structure. Now what is pitcher? Pitcher means the, we can say, type of pot, like मटका we say in Hindi. Okay, so मटके के जैसा इसका shape होता है, and it is covered with a lid. This pitcher is covered with a lid. Inside the pitcher, hairs are present which are directed downwards. जो hair होते हैं उसके अंदर वो अंदर की तरफ डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन में होते हैं ताकि जो इंसेक्ट है वो बाहर नहीं आ सके. ओके, व्हेन एन इंसेक्ट लैंड्स इन पिक्चर, द लीड क्लोजेस, लीड क्लोज हो जाती है, एंड द ट्रैप्ड इंसेक्ट इज डाइजेस्टेड बाय द डाइजेस्टिव जूसेस प्रेजेंट इन द पिक्चर. So this pitcher plant is somewhat like this. Okay, and here is the lead of that plant. This is the pitcher. Okay, and the hairs are present inside in the downward direction. These hairs are sticky, and that's why this insect, if insect sits or if insects they fall inside the pitcher, it will not go up because the hairs are sticky. Okay, so we will see the pictures also. The insectivorous plants are green in color. They are green in color and they can synthesize their own food. Then why do insectivorous plants trap insects? Because they usually grow in places where soil is deficient in nitrogen nutrients. I have told you before only that they are growing in such a place where the soil is deficient in nitrogenous nutrients. Okay, and so to meet the requirement of nitrogenous nutrients, they trap insects and kill to extract these nutrients. So by killing or by trapping these insects, they get the requirement of nitrogenous nutrients. Okay, and that's why these insectivorous plants, they trap insects. Here you can see the pictures of some insectivorous plants. This is Venus flytrap. Here inside this, suppose an insect sits here or it lands here, then these leaves, they get folded, okay, and they are closed, and then this insect is digested inside. This is Venus flytrap. This is the pitcher plant. You can see the shape is like a pitcher. This is modified leaf. This is the lead of that pitcher. This is sundew plant, and you can see the sundew like structures, these sticky ends of these fiber like structures, okay, and because of this sticky substance over here, okay, it is shining like the dew drops, and that's why the name is sundew plant. You can see the insect that are trapped into this sticky liquid. Here is another picture of sundew plant. This is one more insectivorous plant. Here you can see, okay, it is known as butterwort or bladderwort. This is another insectivorous plant, cobra lily. This one is there. So these are all the examples of insectivorous plants. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe it, and subscribe my channel also. Comment and share with your friends. We'll meet again in our next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.